The wait is over. New episodes of The Walking Dead Season 10 are premiering early, February 21st on AMC+. Don't miss the extended 10th season, featuring 6 new episodes, each focused on fan-favorite characters. Prepare for all-new high-stakes showdowns and emotional reckonings by catching up on the latest season before new episodes drop. With season binges, exclusive content, and early access to new episodes, the best Walking Dead experience is only on AMC+. Get lost in the Walking Dead universe today. Available ad-free and on demand. Sign up at amcplus.com. AMC+. Only the good stuff.
Hey, it's Mark Roberts. It's 2021, and welcome to Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment.
Was my energy a little low on that?
It was a little low.
All right, well, it's Mark Roberts. I'm going to be the kinder, gentler Mark Roberts this year.
Turning a new leaf.
I'm excited about this year, and this show I want to dedicate to inspiration.
Oh, I like that.
I want to dedicate it to everyone out there who wants to make a movie or write a script or put any kind of product out this year. And I want to talk about how we can make that happen. We're going to also bring in Antwone Fisher to give some inspirational words. I'm also trying to convince him to write a movie that we can do together.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get him to do that right here on the phone. But anyway, we'll be right back with Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment, and with Antwone Fisher.
2021. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Get Into Entertainment. I've got Rod Teddy Rinks here. I've got Davey Dave.
We're in 2021, boys.
2021, man. It's a very, very, very exciting time. And I want to start every show this year by saying people have to go rate our show, right? Give us 5 stars, lay down a review.
Yes.
Especially places like Peru.
Yes.
Right? Peru's got to lay down.
Denmark.
We're number 1 there.
Come
Denmark.
on.
Come
What's
on,
up?
guys.
We need to learn some
We
Danish.
want to hear from you.
Yeah. The purple icon. Click on it. Go to our show. 5 stars or however many stars you want. 5
Yeah,
stars
whatever you
appreciated.
want. And let us know what you think, because we really appreciate doing the show, and we're hoping that people are, writing stuff down and making movies or raising money for movies, whatever you do.
And we'll read those comments on air.
Absolutely.
Baby Dave, you down?
Hey, I'm down. It's really the master class here, fellas.
Yeah,
That's
let's
what's
do it.
up.
In an earlier podcast, I don't even know how many of these we've done, but in an earlier podcast, I talked to you about share your ideas and don't be afraid of losing your ideas, because you'll come up with another great idea, right? That's what we all do. We had a guest on who told us all about how he wrote Side Out, and it got stolen and made without his...
and then guess what he did? He left the business.
No, he's still in the business. He's just not a
he
writer.
left the creative end of the business.
Yeah. But I will say this, and this is moving into 2021 in a very positive way. You're super talented. You and I made adjustments to the script Ollie, which, by the way, got rave reviews the minute people read it. We went through it a couple of times. I sent it to you. You sent it to me. I sent it to you. You sent it to me. We did that like 5 times.
Yeah.
It ended up being great. And we're probably going to make that this year. And you are going to get credit for it. And you're going to get paid. So that was a positive thing that happened out of all of these little things that are going on around you. I want to get Antwone Fisher on the phone, see if he has some inspirational words. And since we're on this subject, let's find out if he's been jacked before. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Antwone Fisher. Now, Antwone Fisher is the writer of the movie by the same name, Antwone Fisher, which was a huge hit.
And one of our first podcasts.
He was one of our first podcasters.
I actually watched it over the Christmas break.
Did you watch it? Oh, you got to tell him. All right, well, let's bring him in. Hey, Antwone, you there?
Yeah.
How
What's
are you,
up,
buddy?
My man?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Yo.
You're my brother's favorite episode, Antwone Fisher episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
He tells me that every time I see him, too. I said, didn't you like the one that was about me? He goes, no, yours.
Well, it's one thing when you tell your story and it's a true story. And over the years, I've learned how to tell the story. And I've told it so many times, at different functions and fundraisers and trying to help kids in foster care, that I really have it down. Writing the movie, I wrote a play, I wrote the book, and I lived a life. So it's easy to tell.
Yeah, man. But but when you're at the bank and you're sitting there and and you're seeing 25,000 and the guy comes back and says it's $250,000. That's an amazing punchline.
No,
buddy.
2,500, wasn't it?
Oh, he thought it was 2,500.
Yeah, he just wanted to go to Subway. He was hungry, remember?
Yeah.
I need $20.
Yeah.
He just wanted $20 out of it. That's all he wanted. And he wanted to give the guy wanted to give you some water. You're like, I don't want water, man. I want $20 so I can go eat.
It's funny when I think about that and how my life has changed since then. And even when my growing up is it almost seems like a movie. And then I talk to a childhood friend or my foster brother, and it reminds me that it was real. You know, it's not just a movie. And you know, over the years too, a lot of people when they talk to me, I think they think I'm in the same place as I was when I was, you know, a hurt kid. You know, in every life there comes a time to forgive, and I think I got to a place where I thought, wow, you know, I don't feel angry, I don't feel anything, and I think it wasn't a forced forgiveness; it just happened without me knowing it. And I look over my life, and I just feel grateful that I had a story to tell that seems to help other people.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing, dude. I was wondering, have you ever run into your ideas being stolen or your ideas being used and, you know, without your permission?
Yes. I can say more than twice, but two specific times it really bothered me. But these were places that hired me all the time. And so, you know, you have to just be quiet, which is fine because I know that I'm not a one-trick pony and I can write other things. And so that's okay.
You know, look, we're talking about every aspect of the business. I think that the reality is that, you know, there's a struggle to get into the business, whether you're a writer, producer, any kind of content creator. And then you get a little bit, you know, you make some friends that are in the industry. And I think in that sort of, you know, area where you start making friends and you start moving into the real part of the business, that, you know, on occasion, you know, it becomes like a melting pot of ideas. And yeah, maybe your idea over a beer ends up becoming someone else's idea because no one remembers who came up with it, you know? So I think you got to be careful. If you do think you have something great, I think you got to keep it to yourself. What do you think, Antwone?
I think you're right. And it's hard to keep it to yourself. You know, you can sometimes only show a few people who you realize have integrity, like Mark Roberts. He has integrity. You can show him anything if he's willing to read it. I don't know about your buddy sitting in there, what kind of experience he has, but Mark is a good guy.
Oh,
and
thank you, buddy.
then people who are not in the business, who like to read, who are just, you know, sometimes they make even better readers than people who are in the business. Not just that they would take your ideas, but, you know, I think people who love movies, they're filmmakers too, because they can watch a movie and tell if something's wrong with it. They may not be able to tell you exactly what it is, but they will know the first part of the movie wasn't good. And I wasn't satisfied with the character's development. They may not say it like that, but they realize things are hanging and it didn't lay out the way a movie generally lays out. So anybody can read a screenplay if they like movies and tell you if they like it. If they don't like it, there's something wrong. You can't point it out, but you need to look at it. If they like it, you can't trust them because they're not filmmakers, so you still need to look at it, right? You know, sometimes it's hard to keep it to yourself when you feel like you want to burst, you know, or something like that. When you have a good idea, and it's just unfortunate that Mark is right. You have to learn that. You have to be disciplined and not tell anybody. And let me tell you this. I had shared a screenplay with a friend who worked in the business and wanted an executive and I wanted some notes. And so they never really gave notes. So I just blew it off. And I went to this premiere and the executive was there and the director, everybody, and the producer. And when I came in, they were looking at me. They weren't all together, but every time I ran into one, they would look at me. And I was thinking, what's wrong with them? But then when I went into the movie and I watched the movie, I started realizing that some whole scenes from my screenplay were in the movie. And they were like, after the film is done and you have the after party, at the after party, they were like sure that I was going to say something, but I never said anything. And when I saw them around town, I still smiled. I still was my normal self. And they know that I know that they took that from not just one scene, dialogue and a lot of things.
Oh, wow.
And I never said anything.
Yeah.
But I could see the guilt on their face every time I saw them. Faces,
You killed them with kindness.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
What's the point of accusing and arguing about it? It's a small town and everybody knows one another. And if you say something, it could mushroom into something different. And, so it's better just leave it alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Antwone, I was talking to these guys. I said, I'm dying. First of all, this is completely true, 100%. From the minute I met you, I wanted to produce, a movie with you, especially something that you wrote, because I consider you, an important voice. I really want to do this multicultural romantic comedy holiday thing with you, and I know we're going to come up with a great idea, but we got to make that thing happen.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
but yeah, no, for real. Mark is telling the truth, and we talk about have talked about a lot of projects we want to do together, and I guess I met Mark when he was kind of like Ed Wood, right?
I love that.
Totally. Totally.
But now he's a baller. He invited me to Netflix, and I sat around his shop. He introduced me to everybody. I felt like a little guy, like I was standing around a big time producer.
You know what was exciting about having you over at Netflix? He's talking about, I invited him over to Ashley Garcia.
Yeah.
But I introduced him to, the showrunners and the writers and everybody. And every time I introduced him, people, like, their eyes would open up and they'd be like, oh my God. Yeah, they'd be like, oh my God, this is the Antwone Fisher? I was like, yeah, this is Antwone Fisher. It was like hanging out with like Jack Kennedy or something. It was crazy. But yeah, look,
you're like, I'm Ed Wood.
Yeah.
But I do respect also Mark's ability, to have a deal at a studio in the studio, not know he has a deal there.
That's right. When we were at Universal, I was always hiding because I was like, the minute they find me, they're going to kick me out of here. I was there for 7 years.
That's a movie in itself.
Wait, I didn't know. This is news to me.
No, that was Terry Farley. Terry Farley brought me on the lot.
Oh, right.
So I was just like, I was worried that they were going to find me and kick me off. The funny thing is, I would pitch. I pitched. I met with everyone at Universal. I met with Donna Langley. I met with DreamWorks. I met with Holly Barrio. Yeah. Well, because, as a young filmmaker on the lot, even though you have a deal at Universal, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone's got to listen to you.
Yeah.
Right. They've just said you can be here.
Yeah.
But I had to reach out to all these people. But as I started making more product, like when I went to Sundance in 2005.
Yeah.
That changed everything for me. So when I was at Universal, people were like, "Oh, you did Stranger with Candy," and I met with Ron Meyer. I met with, these are the big people of Universal. It didn't make any difference to my career, but I did sell something to Universal proper a couple of times, but they never got made. The films never got made. But
you sold them.
Yeah, but it's true that I was nervous all the time that they were going to kick me off the lot. I mean, I think, don't you think, Antwone, it comes with the territory of you always feel like people are going to take away your stuff when you're younger? Like, I'm always, even when I make a deal, even when I make a deal today, I feel like they're going to pull the rug out from underneath me and one day just call me up and go, you don't have a deal.
Well, didn't Steven Spielberg have a similar story, kind of, with Universal?
Yeah.
Sneaking onto the...
Well, he full on snuck on, though.
And created his own, put his own on. Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like you or Ron Meyer or Casey Silver or anybody like that.
No.
So, people have an opportunity in Hollywood. in various ways. You know, I was a security guard. Damon Wayans worked in the mailroom at Columbia Pictures. John Singleton, he was a security guard at Clover Studios.
Wow.
And, you know, a lot of people find their way into the business in different ways, even if they're jumping the fence. You know, if you don't get caught like Steven Spielberg, then you wind up, you know, your love for making films and telling stories. People get desperate to be heard and be seen and have their ideas turned into films.
Yeah.
It's nothing shameful about, you know, being having a deal on a lot with the studio, being unaware of your presence. You know.
Yeah.
Hey. The greatest story of Mark's ability to have a deal at a studio when he was getting started was that he would use the studio's phones and arrange for himself to receive a phone call in someone else's office and they not know it. And just be there.
Wait, what?
This is great.
This is new. I never heard this
Well,
one.
because if you gave out the main number, the Universal Studios number, they would call the main line, right? So and they'd be like, "Hello, Universal Studios," like, and that's just like the general, like secretary, right? Like of the whole entire thing. But if I would call her up and say, I'm at extension such and such here at Universal. If I happen to get a phone call, I just wanted you to know.
Oh my God,
because sometimes they couldn't find me, right? Because they couldn't find out where because I wasn't listed like the other main producers, right?
Yeah.
So I had to let them know ahead of time, and then someone would call, and then they'd connect my office to them.
So would you go to the bathroom on you got on your cell phone?
But the best part about it was when they called, there was a Universal Pictures.
That's right. Can we speak to Mark Roberts? Yeah, and then they put me through.
Yeah, I mean, if you call a studio and they say Columbia Pictures or Sony Pictures Entertainment, how can I help you? And you say, I want to speak with Mark Roberts, and they say, let me connect you. Then you got a deal.
That's how it happened. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Like you got a deal.
He's like the Mexican Bowfinger.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I tell you, the thing that Universal helped me out a lot with when I was an indie producer is that as I was raising money, it made it very easy to convince people that I was doing projects that mattered, because they would come to Universal, we'd have lunch in the commissary, and we would discuss how I was going to use potentially go to Universal to distribute the product, or at least have them consider it, which they would since I was there. But it did help me a lot. And I learned a lot from the process by pitching all those people. I mean, it's ironic because I think the gift I had was raising money and convincing people to make movies. But at the end of the day, Universal, which today is, today the equivalent, and actually there's no equivalent, Netflix and Amazon and places like this are making way more movies than a studio would ever make. You're talking about 40 films, 50 films a year. Studio was making 6. So the chances of me actually making a movie at a studio was going to be pretty much zero. But the thing that was valuable to me is that I was there, and that it validated me as a producer, which then got me to making a bunch of movies, which then got me to, making movies for actual networks and making series for Netflix. And now it changed my life. But that's what all that does to you. Even working as a security guard, which you were, but I still consider you Hollywood royalty, Antwone. But even though you worked as a security guard, that got your foot in the door, and you were able to meet some very important people.
Yes, and it's not easy to do. I don't know if you would call it luck or a blessing or whatever it is, but I think if you have any talent and the right person finds you on the studio lot, whether you are a secretary, a messenger, or a security guard, it doesn't matter. They're going to swoop you up. You'll have an opportunity, but you have to reach the right person. And when you meet that person, you have to be ready to be what it is that they need. And that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I could write. I had never written anything before.
Well, you
And I
definitely
have a difficult time reading. Everybody knows that. So,
yeah. Well, there's a lot of great writers. Rick Nahara, who's a friend of our show, who's a great writer. He also he's dyslexic, so he cannot finish up a script on his own. But let me ask you this: like going into 2021, it's been a really complicated year. I don't know that certainly it's as complicated for all people, but as far as the business of writing, I think that there's some inspiration and some possibilities for writers and people who create stories, right? I mean, there's possible, focused energy and time into writing great stories right now because you got to be home. So do you have any inspirational words for people who are writing out there and want to get something done this year?
Yeah. So I think writing is a whole, it's a whole thing, and the part of it that where you're actually writing and thinking and coming up with the ideas that just seem to pour out of you. It takes something to get to that place where you're really on and you can write every day and you're sleeping and you're coming up with dialogue in your sleep and you're waking up and staying up all night and that kind of thing. It always, when I get a deal at a studio somewhere, it always takes me a couple of weeks to get ready to write. And a part of it is that, you really have to be in some sort of physical shape and mental shape to do it. A lot of people think that you write from your fingertips, but you're really writing from your brain and your heart. And it takes a lot of energy. I remember when I first met my wife, 25 years ago, of course, she wasn't my wife at the time, but I gave her a key to my apartment, and she would come to my apartment on her lunchtime, and she would always catch me sleeping on the deck. And she would say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm working."
Yeah.
Writing makes me tired. It makes me sleepy. So I can't, like if I write for 3 hours, either I have to go to sleep or just quit altogether.
Wow.
So you have to make sure you clear out all the things that bother you. Like if you have a friend you're not getting along with, you can't start writing having that on your mind because it'll be a distraction for you. Writing, you sit down a lot. You can stand up as well, so you have to have the right equipment. I have, of course, a desk, and then I have the desk that you can lift and stand and write. I have to see a chiropractor when I'm writing, so you have to have that lined up because I get back pain, and there's a lot of sitting down, there's a lot of standing up. You really need adjustments all the time. But most of all, you have to be ready to write, like a fighter's ready for a fight. Because people are paying you a lot of money. Even if they weren't, and you want to write something, you want it to be good. So you have to be good.
Yep.
Good in your heart, good in your mind, and physically. And some people don't think that would be the case. But I've been writing for 26 years now. And I've always come to the place where I realized I have to do this whole time of self-reflection. Things that I feel that are holding me back. If I'm carrying a grudge or if I'm thinking about something too much, you have to be able to find those things that you're doing wrong that will slow you down and distract you. Because writing is serious business. And it's not fun all the time, but you have to not just barrel through, you have to go through it with the right frame of mind so you can come out with a good result. And you have to be able to police yourself in your writing. So I think before you write, you have to have a place where you write. You have to have the right equipment. You have to be physically and mentally ready to do it. If you want to be a champion, you can't be a champion if you don't prepare for it. If you want to be a great writer and you want to last a long time, if you want to do more than one screenplay or be hired by a studio more than one time, you have to be good. It's like being an NBA player. You can have great players in college or in the neighborhood, but you have to be special to be an NBA player or be in the NFL.
Yeah, that's
to
great.
be in Hollywood and write movies, you have to be more than good, because everybody in the world wants to come here who wants to write and work in the business. You have to be better than everybody else. You have to feel that way. And it has to be honest. You have to be able to criticize yourself, constructively.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I'm fired up now. I'm not a writer, but I'm going to go prepare to be one.
But he's totally right, because even through this whole, pandemic, I thought I was going to get a lot of writing done, and I haven't really, because I'm home with my kids, I'm home with my wife, I'm home. I don't really have a place to write at home. It's the kitchen counter or the table, and with 4-year-old twins and an 8-year-old, constantly wanting attention, by the time I'm done with everything, it's late and I'm tired. And I go to bed, and I try to get up early in the morning, but I'm too, you know what I mean? Yeah. So before the pandemic, I was able to go like to a coffee house down the street from my, Starbucks around the corner or wherever it was. And I would tell my wife, give me like 3 hours to go and write. And I would be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like mentally I was good. Now it's just really tough. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it can't be done, but you're right. It's like a fighter. A fighter needs a gym. A fighter needs a place to go. He could work out. He could train. He could spar with people. He can't be training in his living room. You know what I mean? He can't train in his living room and in his garage. He's never going to get to the level in which he's aspiring to get to if he's shadowboxing in his kitchen. You
saw Rocky, right?
Yeah.
When he lost the gym, he went and started hitting meat in the meat packing place, right?
Yeah.
You saw how he was living, and you saw his gear when he got ready. It wasn't Nike or Adidas. He put on what he had, and he kept doing it. And Sylvester Stallone's story in Hollywood, how he was turned down everywhere he went because he wanted to star in it.
Yep.
And everybody told him no until he met Chardoff and Winkler. And then boom, there you go.
Yeah,
he's Sylvester Stallone now.
There's a lot of positive things to think about when you're trying to do something. I kind of have one last question. Is there a time when you should, I get the feeling that, if you're an actor, you act. If you're a writer, you write. Is there a time when you should decide that maybe you're not one of those things? At what point do you kind of fold up shop and say, you know what, this is not what I want to do? When do you know if you're not great at something, or do you ever?
Well, I wanted to be a director almost as soon as I became a writer, and people were taking me serious, because to be around it all, seeing the creative license and the power that a director had to shape the story that someone wrote, I felt like I could do that. But the opportunity for me to do that just never came. Even though I've directed short films and that kind of thing, but nothing like I had planned to. And as time has gone by, and I never got the opportunity. I came close to getting the opportunity to direct a major motion picture at Universal and at New Line at one time. It just never happened. But somewhere along the way, I didn't lose the fire to do it. But I feel like a kind of reality set in. I passed a threshold where the magic of Hollywood or whatever this is, I passed it. And I felt that what I was and what I was known as was a writer. And I should focus on that more rather than spending a lot of time trying to make a career as a writer-director happen.
Right.
Because I have kids in college, I have to focus. I have a lifestyle, I have to focus. And my family depends on me for not just taking care of things, but inspiration.
Yeah.
And I can't spend a lot of time doing things, spend a lot of time trying to do something when I'm already blessed.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, no,
you know?
and you absolutely are, dude. Look, not for nothing, but you're one of the finest writers of our generation. And if I do get to produce a film that you wrote, I'll be very lucky. So I hope we can try to make that happen. But you know what? Your words have been powerful, and I think a lot of people this year can take that to heart and maybe make something happen for themselves. Get ready, like boxers get ready, like athletes get ready. This is a business. They do pay you a lot of money to come up with unique, creative, different ideas. And as a result of that, you should be prepared and ready. So, Antwone, thanks for being on today. Really appreciate you.
It's great to be on with both guys. And I mean, I really have enjoyed talking. I feel awake now.
Now you feel like you're inspired. You could write. No sleeping.
Well, yeah, I can write now. Absolutely.
We're gonna be calling you up again and talking further. But yeah, definitely have a great 2021. Let's try to make something happen together. And thank you for the words of optimism for everyone who's out there doing their thing. All right,
thank
buddy.
you, guys.
Thanks, Antwone. All right,
you.
brother.
All right.
Dang, this show's been hardcore, dude.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not gonna be a director.
Well,
What do you mean? You directed something, fool?
No, I never directed.
Yeah, you
anything.
did. You directed the documentary. You did a good job.
I guess I did direct the documentary.
Yeah.
You're right.
I can always be a security guard.
I just go back.
I got
you. Well, if you're listening, I think look, Antwone's right. It's a business. Anything you decide to do is a business, and you should take it super seriously and study. There's great opportunities with master classes now that you can buy online and stuff. And I think you just got to do what you got to do to get yourself ready. One thing I always tell people, and I think I'll kind of end with this, is when you go to an executive and pitch an idea, they're not looking for them to take your idea and run with it. They're looking for you to blow them away so that they can go to their bosses and go, I just met with this guy and he pitched us something that we've never been pitched before. Never have we seen a story like this. We got to sign this.
And you know what happens? What happens is they go, who is he represented by? And I think he's unrepresented. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Get our top writer in here. Pitch him the story. Let's start doing this right. Is it registered? Do you think you put it on?
You know what? In some cases, you're right. But half the time, they're going to try to go with you because they know that you can come up with great ideas.
Well, no, this is because, when I did the research for Made in Mexico, it's actually an accumulation of stories that I read. So Michael Cimino, you know who he is, right?
Sure.
The Deer Hunter. So the story with Cimino. Supposedly, the guy who wrote The Deer Hunter was a construction worker, a carpenter, and he read it and he liked it, and so they met him. They would meet at like the Chateau Marmont, and the guy thought that he was going to get credit as the writer for this thing, and he
was just giving him ideas.
He was giving him ideas, and he I think he wrote the script though. It's something like he wrote the script. Long story short, Cimino got the rights to do it. And then they had a meeting, which was down in like Hollywood somewhere.
So he got paid to give him ideas. Oh,
No. So Cimino, they met at this diner somewhere, and he said, "What happened to the chateau?" And they said, "This is called the fuck off meeting. This is where you fuck off. Like the script is ours now." They took it, and the guy sued. I hope I'm not getting this all fucked up. The guy sued and won, and he got his rights as the credit as a writer or written with. But he never worked again in the business.
Right. Well, let's. I want to end it with you got to prepare for whatever job you want. So, if you're going to be a writer, go write every day. Run into problems. Study other people's work. Figure out how you want to impress people with your stories, and make sure that your stories are unique and special, so that your films can get made and you can go on to bigger and better stuff. So. 2021, here we are. This is the first show of it. Dave, thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
It is our first show, huh?
Yeah. Rod Tootie Rinks, thanks for enlightening us with all of your exciting stories.
I think the whole beginning needs to get cut out of this show. There.
Anything you want to say to people out there, Dave?
Yeah, I love you guys.
Shout out to extrememusic.com, which continues to move in great directions. And I'm going to start, we're doing 2 movies this year, Christmas and otherwise. But I'm going to start talking to Russ about creating some music for these movies that we're doing, something different, something unique, something exciting. You can do that with extrememusic.com. They'll do anything. They'll create any kind of music that you need. If they don't have it in the hundreds of thousands of songs and songwriters that they have from all over the world, composers, everything you need is on extrememusic.com.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys next time on Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment.
Hey,
Right, Dave.
Decades.